Okay, we've now got to our last step that we're doing, and that's our bank reconciliation. Now, this would normally go in between completing the cash receipts and cash payments journals and posting them into ledgers. Instead, we've worked through the rest. We've come back and seen this. We're going to do this at the end, and then you can put it into that part of the process later. So when we do a bank reconciliation, we're checking that our cash records match the bank's records of our cash. Cash is our number one asset as a business. If we don't have control of our cash flow, we don't have adequate cash flow, as a business, we are not going to survive. It is so important we know what is happening to our cash, that we know what's happening in the past, and we can use that to help predict future cash flows. These are really vital planning tools for businesses, and extremely important that we keep track of it. So with our bank reconciliation, we're going to compare our bank statement. We've got a bank statement here for Izzy's Ice Cream Parlour from the CNZ Bank, and we're going to be comparing it with our cash receipts journal and our cash payments journal. So it says here, here's our opening bank account balance, and here's all the various transactions. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare the bank column with the numbers in the bank statement. And this is why it was so important that we got the use of the receipts in the bank correct, because these numbers in the bank column have to match up with the numbers in here. If for some reason when you're doing this and you're discovering that a lot of numbers don't match up, then take that as a sign that you need to go back and check your cash receipts journal and make sure you've done the correct thing with your receipts in your bank column with regards to adding your cash transactions together to bank each day. If there's one FPOS going straight through, but if there's two FPOS on a day, that they're in the receipts and then a total goes in the bank, that we don't add. So, for example, we've got a cash and an FPOS here. We don't add them together on a day. The cash gets banked separately to the FPOS. So those sorts of things. So if we're finding there's lots of anomalies, it's a good idea to go back and check that cash receipts journal. Gives you a little bit of a hint. Right, we're going to look first of all at the cash receipts. So here's our bank. So these are going to be deposits in our bank statement. And basically what we are doing is we're ticking off what's in both. So for example, we've got a deposit here for $11.50, and I've got $11.50 here in my bank, my cash receipts journal as well. So I'm going to tick that off, and I'm just going to tick it off on that one as well. I'm going to go down. I've got 897 here, and I've got 897 here in my bank. So I'm going to tick that one off, and I'm going to tick that one off. I've got 1104, and I can find an 1104 here where it matches as well. So I'm going to tick those two off as well. I've got a $2,000 deposit here, and in my bank column, I've got a $2,000 deposit there. Now, don't get hung up if the dates don't match exactly, because it can sometimes take 24 hours or even longer for a bank to process a transaction. So it may appear on your bank statement slightly later than what you've got it dated in your cash receipts or cash payments journal. All right, looking at the next one here, I've got a 644 and I've got a 644. So I'm now going to tick those two off. I've got a 368 here, and I've got a 368 there. And further down here, I've got a 9. Oh, but I don't have a 9 in here, so I can't tick that one off. And also, I've got 1,000 here, and I don't have 1,000 in here. So I'm not going to tick that one off either. But if we look, we've got everything else ticked off in those except for that 1,000. I'm just going to highlight that a different colour and I'm going to highlight that one a different colour to tell myself I need to come back and sort that. Right, we're now going to do the cash payments journal. So once again, we're going to take the bank column, and this time we're going to compare it against the withdrawals, because that's the bank account going down. So the first one I've got here is 575, and in my bank column I can find a 575 there too. And sometimes there might be more than one 575 and you want to actually maybe compare. This one says Lewis Road, and over here I've got purchases, and it would make sense that a ice cream parlour is purchasing gourmet ice cream from the Lewis Road Creamery. So that would actually make sense, that transaction. So sometimes you might like to check that off too. So I'm going to tick that one off, and I'm going to tick it off in there too. The next one, I've got $23 for Zampelli's Cafe, and I've got drawings here. And if we remember right from the cash payments journal when we processed it, Izzy used the FPOS card to buy herself lunch, and it makes sense that it was from a cafe there. So we'll tick that off. We've got Google Inc. here for 115. We've got our advertising, so there was our Google advertising that we did. We've got R. Hammond for 750, and we've got a wages here for 750. So R. Hammond must have been our employee that we have paid. Down here I've got 1725 to Hydesta, and that matches my shop fittings here of 1725. Tick those ones off as well. All right, CNZ loan payment 500, and here's a 500 loan payment there. So I'll tick that one off. And I've got $70 here of interest, and I've got $70 there of interest as well. So I'll tick those two off as well. Now, if I look at this one here, I've got a $25 here, but I don't have any $25 there. So I'm just going to highlight that as well, because I can't tick that one off. I can only tick things off that are in two things, so either the bank statement and one of the journals. And the other thing here I don't have ticked off is this 575 for purchases, so I'm going to highlight that as well. So everything in green are things that are in both I've been able to tick off, and ones that are in yellow I haven't. Now the reason I can't tick these ones in yellow off is because they're only in one. Now I have authority to write in my cash receipts and cash payments journal, because as the accountant for Izzy's Ice Cream Parlour, they're the records I'm keeping. So I can take this bank fees of $25, which is a withdrawal, and I can put that in my cash payments journal, because it's just something I haven't found about until I've received the bank statement. So I'm going to put bank fees. I'm going to put BS because I found out about it from the bank statement. I'm going to put 25 in there. And there's no GST on bank fees, and it's going to pop over here to my sundry column. Okay, now look, you see I've got 25 there, and I've got 25 there. So I can now actually remove that, because it's now, and change it to a green, just because I'm doing it on a computer. You can just do all this with pens and things, because it's now in both. Now with this $9 here, it's a deposit, it's interest. So it appears at my bank account that I've actually got quite a few $1,000s in it. I've been able to earn some interest on it. Now I didn't know about that either until I got the bank statement. So I can now write that into my cash receipts journal. So I'm going to write interest received. I'm going to write BS because I heard about it on my bank statement. Because I go straight into the bank, it's going to go straight through to the bank column there. It won't be in the receipts. And there's no GST on interest. And it's also going to be under my sundry column. Okay, so once I've got that, I can actually now remove that colour, and I can tick that off there as well, because it's now in both, because I have the authority to write it in that one. I can tick that one off there too. So that leaves me this $1,000 and this 575 to go. What I'm going to do now is I'm now going to do my bank ledger account, just like we did before. I'm going to put the final date in. I'm going to put in cash receipts. And I've now got an updated amount with cash receipts because it's adding that $9 on as well. So that's 7172. That's making my bank account go up. So it's going to be a debit. So that's going to give me 10,172 debit as my balance. Once again, I've got an updated one here with my $25 bank fee included on it. So that's 4358. That's my cash payments journal. It's making my bank account go down. So therefore, it's going to be a credit to my bank because my bank is going down. So 4358. And write cash payments. And for all your other ledgers, you write bank in the particulars, but for the bank ledger, you write cash receipts or cash payments. So I've got 10,172 debit, then I'm going to minus that credit of 4358, and that gives me 5814. It's still a debit because my debits outweigh my credits. Righty-ho, now onto the bank reconciliation statement. The great thing about these is that you just have to follow the instructions on them. So the first instruction says closing bank statement balance. So here's my bank statement. I'm going to go down to the bottom. There is my closing bank statement balance of 5389. Pop that in. Then it says add deposits not on the bank statement. So what have I got in my cash receipts journal that isn't on here? And I've got this one thing that highlighted, which is my capital of $1,000. So I'm going to write in here capital. Now I'm just going to give it a wee subtotal. So it gives me 6389 because it says add deposits not on the bank statement. Then less withdrawals not on the bank statement. So what have I got here that wasn't ticked off? Well, I've got this 575 here that hasn't been ticked off. And that was for purchases. I'm going to write in purchases and 575. So that gives me my 6389 minus my 575. And 6389 minus 575 equals 5814. Now, look what it says. It says closing balance of the bank account. We actually look over the bank account. Notice it also says 5814. So the bank account refers to the bank ledger account, not the bank statement. That's called the bank statement. The bank ledger account is what we call the bank account, and it's also 5814. So in a way, it's also a little bit of self-checking there to see if you've done. So those numbers should match once we've done that. And that's our bank reconciliation statement completed.